Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook. Monday through Saturdays, we get together. We look at headlines from our city, our state, and our country. We take a look at each other's questions, ideas, comments, and suggestions. We combine all this information so that we can put it to good use as we go on through our lives here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English speaking locals. Today, it's Monday, October the 3rd. Another month has just started, and another hurricane has just come and gone. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today is going to be a pretty basic broadcast because it's all about the hurricane and it's all about music. We're going to break down and unpack a beautiful Mexican song in the second half of the broadcast. But first, as always, it is a pleasure to welcome everyone, and particularly those of you that have not joined us live before. If that is the case, all you have to do is write the word new in your comment, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. And if you have something important to share with us, something that you don't want anyone to miss, please add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and we'll take a look at that in the second half. In the meantime, it's great to see all these good mornings, and we'll get to those as well later on in the broadcast. Have I missed anything? No. Let's just push the button and get started with our news. Well, Hurricane Orlene came and went or passed through our vicinity, and not only did the tropical storm Orlean become a hurricane over the weekend, it actually intensified to a Category 4 hurricane, while many of us remained fidgety, not quite knowing what to expect. Many local businesses closed or canceled special events, and local beaches were also closed. This time around, however, it seems to be that it was better to be safe than sorry, and no damages have been reported in our area just yet. And even though we could still expect considerable rain in the next few days, the state of Jalisco concluded the state of emergency that was instituted in 12 coastal municipalities. Victor Hugo Roldan, who is Director of Civil Protection Services for the state, indicated that none of the 9 shelters that were set up throughout the state were actually used. And Puerto Vallarta's international airport, which remained closed yesterday, is back to normal operations. And this is all good. Of course, call it prevention or call it bureaucracy, we don't know. But city workers are taking the day off today as commanded by Mayor Michel due to the hurricane. Heaven forbid they should have a difficult time reaching their offices in the middle of the invisible pouring rain. I looked out the window, there's nothing going on. But, maybe this is the calm before the storm. Maybe we'll see a lot of rain tomorrow or the day after. Hopefully not, but still, if you are planning to conduct any kind of official business in the city, you will not be able to do that today. And if you're sent your children to school, they're bound to come back any time now because all schools in Puerto Vallarta and 11 other municipalities are closed today. And this includes the Guadalajara University local campus, or CUC. So again, we're out of danger. If we have any more danger in the next few days, it'll be because of rain coming down from the river and the mountains and so forth and so on. But we'll have to wait and see. So far, the hurricane is headed north, and we'll keep you posted on its development tomorrow. Now, you may be wondering, we had such drama last week. What happened to that envelope? Last week, we reported major drama at City Hall when in the middle of an ordinary city council meeting, the kind that are usually attended by members of the press with cameras and microphones and all, council member Carla Esparza Quintero handed over a yellow envelope to our mayor, arguing that it contained a bribe. It contained money for her to approve a tampered budget for the municipality. Of course, news of this and this photograph of variations of this envelope photograph reached national outlets in a matter of hours. Well, now the city has come forth and declared that the envelope was empty, that hers was just a stunt, and that she was simply trying to hijack the progress of our municipality. But of course, there are those that were present that could attest that there was something in the envelope. So it is one of those typical bureaucratic political escándalos, I suppose. And of course, we don't know who to believe or what to believe. I mean, this is the council person that a few months ago was accused of nepotism, as she had a bunch of relatives working in the city hall payroll, despite the fact that this is known to be illegal. So what will happen? I guess we'll have to stay tuned and find out. But speaking of staying tuned, let's stay tuned to our local weather and see what's going on out there. Ooh, Jesus, fire, breathing Christ, it's raining, says Snarky Carrot Weather. 26 degrees right now, feels like 29. Humidity is at 83%. And for those of you that are Fahrenheit devotees, we're enjoying 79 degrees Fahrenheit presently. And our weather forecast for today says rain until evening, so it'll be a wet day, with a high of 29 and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Tuesday, rain starting in the afternoon with a high of 29 and a low of 24. And Wednesday, we'll have rain until the evening with a high of 29 and a low of 23. So you see, we may still see some effects from Hurricane Orlene in the next few days. And again, hopefully those will not be very destructive. Taking care of pending issues. Last week, somebody asked again, and I think I'm going to add this information to our frequently asked questions, because more than once have you asked, what was the name of that Mexican candy that is kind of like Butterfingers, and it is called Dami. Dami is the name of the caramel candy, and it's made by a company called Montillo. And these you can find at some supermarkets. You can find them at candy stores. I found the last bags that I got at a candy store in Pitillal Plaza, and I keep my candy in the refrigerator during the summer months because otherwise it gets sticky. And this takes care of our broadcast. So the rest of the rest of the morning, we're going to dedicate to music. Today, we are going to celebrate Music Monday by taking a look at a major, beautiful Mexican song. And of course, if you are members of Coffee and Headlines, you already know what song we're looking at because you received the news in an email. But for the rest of us, today we are going to unpack a song called El Triste. And this is a gorgeous song by Mexican composer Roberto Cantoral. It was sung for the first time in 1970. This is a quintessential power ballad. It is a big but not bombastic torch song about the sudden and unexpected end of love or loss of love. Very, very sad, but beautifully composed and beautifully expressed. So, we're going to break this down in four sections, actually five. First of all, we're going to take a look at the lyrics and their meaning. This is, of course, a song in Spanish. Then we're going to take a quick look at the song structure. Then we're going to take a look at what it takes to actually be able to sing this song without butchering it, because it's frequently butchered at karaoke's near my home and yours. And then we're going to take a look at the cultural context in which this song um, blossomed and why it continues to be a favorite song among many. And of course, after that, we get to find out, the fifth section, which I didn't list here, is, what happens to the hero of the song, because, all songs are stories, and we want to find out whether the hero is going to be okay or not. And yes, we can tell how old the photo is by looking at the cigarette that the singer is holding. It was very, very classy to be photographed smoking a cigarette. It was the 1970s. But anyhow, let's start with the lyrics of the song, which I'm going to show you here. The first two lines say, "How sad it was to say goodbye when we adored each other so much." How sad it was to say goodbye when we adored each other so much. And I've highlighted the word adored because it is a universal choice made by the songwriter. He could have said when we loved each other so much, and that would have made it exclusively and primarily a love song. But, we can adore a cat, we can adore an actor, we can adore many people. We can only love a few, but I think we adore many more. How sad it was to say goodbye when we adored each other so much. Even the swallow migrated, foreshadowing the end. That's the last two lines of the first verse. Now, what has the swallow, even the swallow migrated. What has the swallow got to do with this? Well, this is a beautiful nod by the composer to La Golondrina, or The Swallow, which is a beautiful Mexican song published in 1862 by Mexican composer Narciso Serradell. Why such an old song? Well, La Golondrina, or Las Golondrinas, which is the way it's commonly known, is the quintessential Mexican farewell song. Think Mexico's Auld Lang Syne or Leaving on a Jet Plane. Whenever you say goodbye to someone, the song that comes to mind is La Golondrina. So when Roberto Cantoral, the composer of the song, says even the swallow migrated, foreshadowing the end, it means that he's paying reference to this beautiful old song. Next, let's take a look at the second verse. The second verse starts, "How sad everything seems without you." The ocean gets away from the beach. All colors turn into gray. Today, everything is solitude. That is the second verse. So things are not looking good in this song. Now, the chorus, which is next, it's actually two verses of what is known as a chorus. The first one starts with, "I don't know if I'll ever see you again. I don't know what will become of my life without the blue star of your being that is no longer casting light over me." And then the second half of the chorus is, "Today I want to savor my pain. I don't want any compassion or pity." Actually, not pity. Piedad is compassion or, well, let me think about that. I don't want any compassion or pity. The history of this love was written for eternity. So now the composer does mention the L word here. So he talks about a very deep love. And the history or the story of this love will be written for eternity. Then there is a coda. There is a coda in the song, which is a final section. And it says, everybody says I'm truly sad, or how sad everybody thinks I am, that I am always talking about you. And this is important because by saying I am always talking about you, the composer could have said that I always used to talk about you, or that I will always talk about you in the future. But this is happening right now. This song, by virtue of the fact that the main character is saying that I'm always talking about this loss, it means that it's been going on for some time. And then the last two verses of the last two lines of the song, they don't know that thinking about your love, I have been able, he podido, I have been able to stay alive. I have been able to move forward. And again, I highlight he podido, I have been able, just to stress that this is something that has been happening to this character for some time. And he's still, or she's still, dealing with this loss. So that is the song in a nutshell. That's what the song is about. Now let's unpack some of these lyrics by figuring out, well, who is the main character of this song? Well, it could be anyone. It could really be anyone, because we've all experienced the loss of love, the sudden loss of love. Who is this character, or our main hero, singing to? Well, I think he or she is singing to himself or herself. There is no dialogue, there is no back and forth. The song is a personal reflection. What is this reflection about? It's about lost love. Where is this happening? Well, or where could this happen? If we were to imagine the music video, this could be happening anywhere. And when? It could be happening anytime, really. Any time of day or any time in history, because that's the nature of the lyrics. So, is this a love song? Is this a mourning song? What is it really? Well, the composer mentioned that he wrote the song during an airline trip. He was coming back home after attending his mother's funeral. So he dedicated the song to his mother. And of course, it is very clearly about that. But the song's universal approach has contributed to its endurance, because again, in looking at the lyrics, this is not a funeral song exclusively. It's about any loss of profound song that anyone could experience. So that would be a little bit of who's singing to whom about what. And this is something that we always want to pay attention when we're looking at these songs, at least if you're thinking about singing it, or if you're trying to analyze the way it is performed, or the way it is arranged or recorded. You want to be thinking about these things if you really want to pay tribute to the song and its original intention. Now, based on what we've already learned, let's take a look at the song structure. It's not necessarily obvious, but maybe it is. The song is in what is known as an AABBC form, which means there's a verse and a verse, that would be AA. Then there's a chorus and a chorus, a double chorus, which would be BB. And then there's a coda, which I already indicated. In reality, there is then an instrumental interlude in the arrangement, and then there's another chorus and another coda. What is the key of the song? The song is in the key of C minor. And we know that, we gather that from the introduction. The introduction goes something like this. And then the singer begins with his phrase. And so forth and so on. So it is a minor song. If it was a major song, it would sound like this. See the difference? This is a minor chord. This is a major chord. So we tend to associate minor chords with sad things, and we tend to associate major chords with happy ending. This is definitely a sad song. It is also a fast waltz. It's a song in 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But it feels more like a 4-beat song because it's slow. Well, the beat is fast, but the song is really 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't mean to confuse you with this. Let me give you an example of another commonly sung that is in the same kind of meter. Uh, um, when you're listening to my favorite things from Rodgers and Hammerstein, it's exactly the same kind of tempo. Now, something else that we want to know about this song is that the melody is organized in 6-note groups. So we're now diving into the construction of the song. It's do 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 do. That's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the whole song is this series of groups of 6 notes. Even the choruses have the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stand 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth and so on. So it's very simple in its construction, which is absolutely brilliant on the part of the composer. It has a unique rhythmic quirk, though, and you will notice it when you're listening to it. And I forgot to bring my claves out of the closet. Claves are those 2 wooden sticks that you bang against each other, and you use them to establish the beat in songs. So usually we tend to associate the first beat of a bar as the strongest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But what the composer or the arranger has done with this song is they introduce the clave in the 3rd beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Which when you listen to the song, it kind of throws you off a little bit in the rhythm, which is fascinating. But I love that about the arrangement. Anyhow, these are just some details about the construction of the song that catch my attention and that you may want to notice next time you listen to the song. And of course, by the way, the music that I shared with you is the studio recording. Today, we're going to share a couple of other recordings of the song, but this is important for context, and we'll get to that in a second. Now, let's talk about the skill set. Who on earth should have the balls to perform this song? First of all, you need a skilled, expressive singer with amazing pipes and breath control. In this case, the singer is a tenor. Why do I say that? Well, the melody is not complicated. It's all these scales, and so forth and so on. And then the longest intervals, the largest leaps from one note to another are only a sixth. It goes to the do 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 do. These leaps are easy. It's not crazy high leaps that a singer would have a difficult time landing. The challenge with this song is twofold. Number one, it is um, it is it has a huge vocal range. The lowest note in the song is this low C, C3, and the highest note of the song is this high A flat. So a singer must be able to leap from that low note to that high note. And so the first challenge of the song is the huge range that you have to have in your voice to be able to sing it and do it properly. And the second one is that the phrases are very long. So you need to take very, very big breaths to be able to perform the song properly and complete all the phrases. Otherwise, the song is going to sound choppy. How sad to see you goodbye. You have to really complete those phrases so that they make poetic and artistic sense. Last but not least, the song requires a broad dynamic range of the voice. You will find, if you listen to the song again, that the verses are very quiet. It is not until the singer gets to the choruses that the song becomes huge and dramatic. So if you're getting to the karaoke and you think you got the balls to sing this, think again. Really, think again. The song has been recorded by a number of artists, including Manuel Mijares, Marc Anthony, Vicky Carr, Julieta Venegas, Plácido Domingo, and these are people that deserve to sing this song. Not you and I. I'm sorry, unless you're really skilled, but we should have no business trying to butcher this song at the karaoke near your house or mine. Now, let us take a quick look at the cultural context of the song. And this is the part that just gives me goosebumps because the year was 1970, and this is the theater. The theater is called the Teatro Ferrocarrilero in Mexico City. It had been inaugurated just 2 years prior at the time that Mexico was hosting the Olympics. So the likes of Martha Graham and her ballet company set foot on this theater. U2 has recorded music videos in this theater. I mean, it was at the time one of the most innovative venues in all of Latin America. Now, the year before, in 1969, Mexico had organized and launched the Latin American Song Festival with much success. This is a festival that was attended by the top singers from all Latin American countries. And there was a first prize and second prize and third prize, of course. It was a talent show. And now the second edition was to take place at this theater on March 13 of 1970, and José José was to compete representing Mexico and performing the song for the first time. Nobody had heard the song before. And for that matter, José José was largely unknown to the public. He was living in Mexico City. He was only 22 years of age at the time. He was doing gigs singing. He played the double bass, so he was doing jazz bossa nova gigs in nightclubs throughout Mexico. But he was found. Now, it is unfortunate that the technology of the time did not allow for better recording of what went on that evening in audio or video. But a low-resolution video of this performance exists in YouTube as the only memory of what must have been one of the most thrilling, exciting, mind-blowing live performances in the history of Mexican television. The producers of the broadcast managed to not only capture the performance of José José backed by a full orchestra, but also the occasional audience reaction shot as to what was going on that stage. Among those in the audience was 26-year-old Angélica María, a very popular actress and singer nicknamed La Novia, or the girlfriend of Mexico. And by that time, she was already famous. She had already appeared in 6 telenovelas, over 30 motion pictures, and she had released over a dozen records. But you can clearly see how she was absolutely spellbound by this young man's performance. And then, of course, you have Marco Antonio Muñiz sitting in the audience with his mouth wide open. He was 37 years of age. He is an actor and a singer, and Marco Antonio Muñiz had earned a rightful place among Mexico's top romantic bolero performers and the popular title of Ambassador of Romanticism. And there he was, with his mouth wide open, staring at 22-year-old José José, who took everyone by surprise with this priceless look of disbelief. If you go back and watch the video, and I'm going to share it in the show notes, you can feel the energy that is going on in that room. When the song was over, as you'll see in the video, which will be included in the show notes, you will notice how José José received not only a standing ovation, people were throwing flowers at him. You'd think that he was guaranteed the top prize of the competition, but sadly, José José's performance of El Triste landed him the 3rd place. Mexico was so outraged, and word about the song spread so quickly that his record company immediately took the singer to the recording studio to record exactly the same arrangement, note by note, of the song as he had performed it that night. And that is the recording that I shared with you ahead of time, the studio performance of the music. It is that version that we remember, but going back to this live performance, I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to go back and check out to truly appreciate how this beautiful song conquered the hearts of many and continues to do so till this day. In 2018, Telemundo, which is a Spanish language television network in the United States, produced a mini series about the life of José José, with Mexican actor Alejandro de la Madrid performing his role, and a brief appearance by the singer, who at the time was 70 years of age. By this time, of course, José José had gone through all the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations of fame in more ways than we can get into here. Suffice to say that his voice was gone and his health was failing. But when it came time to film the night of the competition for the mini-series, the producers meticulously recreated the stage and even brought José José, while he was still alive, into the picture to reminisce with what little voice he had left in a touching tribute to his legacy. And watching Alejandro de la Madrid recreate the song in a video that is also available in YouTube, and I will also leave in the show notes, is almost as breathtaking as watching the original. And how sad it was to say goodbye to José José when he finally passed away of pancreatic cancer the year after the series premiered on television. His very publicized death was riddled with scandal and truly deplorable, very public disputes between his sons from 2 marriages. Like many who rise to fame, he received very good professional and personal advice through his life, and very bad from some people and very bad from other people. Nonetheless, it is thanks to this beautiful voice and incomparable talent that he will always hold the title of Mexico's Príncipe de la Canción, or Prince of Song. As an afterthought, you're probably wondering, will the hero of our song live? Will he be okay? Will he make it? Will he recover from this loss? He or she. And I don't mean José José. Now I'm talking about the character of our song. Well, I do believe that our hero will be fine. And this is based on 2 clues. One of the clues comes from the song lyrics and the other one from the song arrangement. The final lyric of the song, if you remember, said something along the lines of, you don't know that by thinking of our love, I've been able to remain alive. So we know that he is able to live through the memory of a lost one. You know, we think about the memory of lost ones, and they can be very painful, but eventually things turn around, and it is the memory of that love that propels us forward. And the second clue, of course, comes from the song's arrangement. In the last section of the song, José José holds a high G for a small eternity. And this is the part where I make a fool of myself trying to sing this. He sings, He podido ayudarme a vivir. And then the last chord is a major chord. You know, the song could end with a minor chord, but the song ends with a major chord. The song has a happy ending. So the song gives us hope through the arrangement that the singer is going to be okay. And this was our quick and dirty look at this beautiful song called El Triste, the Sad One, by Roberto Cantoral. The end. Now let's take a quick look at your comments and see what everybody is up to. Let's take a quick look. Oh my God, it's already 11:05. Thank you for staying with me. I see that a bunch of you have left. You know, maybe we should do these music things for members only, as I see that a number of people have already left, but that's okay. I appreciate the fact that those of you that are here are here. Lots of good mornings, which I appreciate very much. Thank you so very much. Yay, make my Mimosa Music Monday. Oh my God, that sounds like heaven. Mimosa Music Monday. Sherry, I tell you, we're getting some champagne for the next one. So there. Wow, that was some hurricane, says Marie. Well, yes, it was, but fortunately not here. Again, we are blessed that we haven't suffered much. We'll have to see what we hear from other places. Oh my goodness. It's our dear friend, our tie-dye god, Joshua. And Joshua is saying good morning. And Joshua is probably wondering, where is my interview? Well, Josh, I haven't published your interview because I want to give it some time so that it's closer to the next Hecho a Mano, so that it serves as publicity. But we will get to find out a little bit more about how Joshua makes those beautiful tie-dye shirts. And shortly thereafter, we'll have a chance to buy them. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. There's a cue. Great dinner last night at the new improved Bravos and cocktails at Corner Bar with my visiting family. That is great, Craig. That is wonderful. Oh, and I heard through the weekend, this made my day, someone who actually went to Guadalajara and stayed at the same hotel that I stay at and went to some of the same places that I recommended. Totally made my day. Let's see. More good mornings. Dame un dami, an easy way to remember when asking for Mexican Butterfingers. Yes, well, again, I think I'm going to add it to our frequently asked question document, Mateo, because it's been asked for by a few people. And I believe it was Bob who asked last weekend. Taken care of. Yay. Let's see what else. Kathy here, loved learning how the music works. Dan understands this a lot more than I do. Well, I think anything that is broken down, and whenever we have the opportunity to break things down to see how they work, it is fascinating. Charles Glenn says, we are blessed with your talent. Well, I think I am blessed with your company, and thank you very much for saying that. It really means a lot to me. Luisa says the song takes you through an emotional roller coaster. Oh my God, yes. Play the coffee and headline intro, please. No. It won't happen. Let's see. You should have been a music teacher. What makes you think that I'm not, Marie? I am being a music teacher right before your very eyes. And when we do it in person, it's a lot more fun. And that is not a hint, it's a fact. Paco's music appreciation lectures are coming back this fall. Luisa, who's likely seen the video before, says you can see in the video how people are going crazy, full of emotion. Yes, I totally recommend you go back to both the original live performance and then you take a look at the one that was recreated by the miniseries, because when you see, God bless José José, he was old and he was battered by life, but it was good to see him standing there. I mean, his voice started decaying back in the 1990s, so it had been a slow decline for him. Let's see. I know Alejandro de la Madrid. Thank you for this very interesting segment. A very talented actor indeed. And Mateo chimes in on Marco Antonio Muñiz's reaction. He's like, holy shit, this kid is gonna bury me. And that is precisely what you see. I mean, when you see Marco Antonio Muñiz just sort of sitting there going like, you know, it's priceless. It is absolutely priceless. Let's see. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for listening, Ramona. It's always a pleasure. Let's see what else we have. I think we're done. Would love you to deconstruct La Nave. Oh my God, La Nave del Olvido. That's another beautiful song. I think that's also by Roberto Cantoral. I will gladly add La Nave del Olvido to the list of songs to unpack. Thank you very much, Betsy Ann, for the suggestion. Tommy, you're back. You're back from Seattle. I hope you brought your knitting needles. Your knitting supplies so that we can yarn together. I love it. And this takes us to the end. Yes, we're done. Thank you very much for joining us. This was Music Monday. Thank you for your interest in learning more about music. We will not only tackle Mexican songs, there's other wonderful music out there just waiting to be unpacked, one song or one piece at a time. But for now, let us get started with this week. If you have to be out and about, I hope you don't get caught in the rain. I hope you have a great Monday. I hope you have a great week. I hope if you're counting days to get to Puerto Vallarta that you continue to do so. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, sometime in the near future. Have a good one.